Marketplace has become something that's really, really, really crucial for you to grow as an ISV. And this change happens as we speak. Like, I think 2024 is going to be the year of the marketplace battles. And I say that to everyone I can, because you're going to reach to a point where a deal is going to come to, the commercial part. And then either you or the customer would raise a marketplace option. Usually it's the ISV that raises that. I think it's going to change, because as we speak, more and more customers are signing EDPs and signing Macs, and they're starting to learn about marketplace. So we're going to go, like, the industry is going to change to a point where you're talking commercials, and even the person that's not in procurement say, oh, I want to buy you through the Google Marketplace. Can you help me with that? And so you want to be prepared for that. And so marketplace is really becoming like the key component of an ISV partnership.
Learn how to master cloud marketplaces in just 5 weeks with our cohort course. Accelerate your growth by tapping into the $300+ billion cloud spend that enterprises have committed to AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. Discover the future of go-to-market with Roman. During 10 weekly sessions, you'll learn how to leverage this fast-growing channel and network with top industry experts and partnership leaders. We will dive into marketplace strategies, internal buy-in, building relationships with the cloud, and mastering co-sell. Join our upcoming cohort.
We are very lucky to have real star in cloud marketplaces sort of growth. We have Nadav from Wiz. Wiz is amazing cybersecurity company. Nadav himself is a bit of influencer. He's been talking about cloud marketplaces. Wiz been the partner of the year in AWS, and it's been probably the most successful story leveraging cloud marketplaces over the last maybe year, right? Everyone heard about like CrowdStrike, but actually Wiz has achieved incredible success in a very short period of time. They launched straight away in all 3 marketplaces. So today Nadav going to be talking about how do you do that? How do you co-market, co-sell, and go to market in a way so you would win the hearts of cloud marketplaces?
Quick intro of Wiz. Wiz is a cloud security solution. Imagine a product that basically, integrates 12, 15 different security solutions into one product and offers that on top of the cloud infrastructure for a customer. So if you take the more traditional security, put it in the new world of cloud, and take into consideration the big trend that is going with migrating to the cloud from small startups that are digital native into the largest enterprises or governmental or financial institutions that are moving in the cloud. The first consideration they would usually have is this secured? And so Wiz helps not only answer this but also solve any insecurities in the cloud ecosystem. A year and a half ago, Wiz reached $100 million in ARR, which gave us the highlight, the fastest growing software company ever to reach this number. Also, we like 5-6 months ago raised our D round for $300 million that put us in a $10 billion valuation. That makes us the largest private cybersecurity company. Another thing is Wiz went enterprise first in the strategy. So you can see around 40% of Fortune 100 companies are Wiz customers. Again, those are the customers that consider security as something that's really important to them. This is how I see cloud alliances, and you have to have all 5 pillars work together, and you have to nurture them and maintain them in order to become a good ISV, at least from my point of view. So the first is the only one I won't dive deep into, but it's you as a customer. So usually people don't talk about it, but you are spending a lot of money on cloud providers, and you're expected to spend a way more. So you can use yourself as a customer. That's a different part of engagement. So when you work as a partner, you work with the APO in AWS, for example, which is Amazon Partner Organization, or GPS at Microsoft, which is the Global Partner Solutions. And when you're talking as a customer, so that's mostly your DevOps, your engineers, and there you work with an account executive or CSAM. And so it's basically 2 different channels of work with the same company, but I think they should integrate. And I think that you can get benefits from one to another, and that could improve the others are.
You mentioned co-marketing and product integration and so on, co-sell. Like sort of from your logical perspective, where do you start?
It really depends on how many people you have on working on that. I know companies that took a limb and like hired a team of alliance managers and divided the work between each one. They hired in marketplace operations even before they had massive marketplace private offers to take care of. So it really depends on the capacity you have. But I would definitely say that product integrations are a big part, but they're not the most important from day one. Day one should be, let's research what does it mean to be a partner of the cloud providers. Let's be be the first to be in the different co-sell programs, incentive programs. Let's be on the marketplace and let's start with co-marketing, because that's something you can do without being one of the top 10 ISVs. As long as you know the right people and you come to their conferences, you sponsor their conferences, for example, that's one way to breach that. And so I would say do the co-sell and co-marketing and marketplace all together, and just also use your resources. So marketing, you go and put your marketing people to work together with the CSPs. Co-sell, you start enabling your sellers. You take the cloud marketplace and then you hire someone for operations. So I would focus on those three, I think.
Great, thanks so much. Let's move into marketing then.
These are things I think you should know to focus on the co-marketing, like the angles of marketing with the CSPs. There's the marketing funds. Each one of those companies can give you funds to market with them. There is criteria, there is certain level of participation on your front, but know that this is something that you can get, because a lot of the I think the hardships of cloud alliances is that you need to get support from internal teams to work with you. And if you come to the marketing team and you tell them, listen, I can give you funds, AWS can help us fund this campaign. We have resources. PMM means Partner Marketing Manager. That's a thing, and it's growing. AWS is, I think, the most progressed with this one, but there's PMMs in Google and Microsoft as well. You can tell them this is massive exposure. And then there's the conference piece, which I'll talk in a second. But I think today, probably most of you guys have been to summits or reInvent or Ignite or whatever. This has become like the new era of conferences, and the ones that are organizing it are the cloud providers. And so that's also part of the marketing plan that you want to do. You want to sponsor those, and then when you sponsor, you don't just want to have a booth, you want to do a session. But who gets a session? The better ISVs, or the ones that are being more proactive. You want to put your logo in different announcements or publications, and it's really endless. And as long as you're more integrated with the CSP of the conference, as long as you have a better partnership, trust me, and you guys know it, it's at the end of the day, it's a people's industry. If you know the right people and if you be proactive enough, you'll get way more exposure and opportunities. Wiz is really deep into the strategy of putting our chips on the different conferences. In our world, Reinforce, for example, of AWS for security is really important. There's of course reInvent, there's Google Next, there's Microsoft Ignite, which is in 5 days, which are also not a big sponsor, but a sponsor. But like you can see here, the fact that this is the president of Google Cloud, the fact that our logo was there is only because we nagged the right people. And then because we have good relationships with the marketing team, they asked our VP marketing and product strategy to come for a shooting day. And then they did the shooting. And the alliance team worked with them on that. And then when you would go into the Google Summit last year in Tel Aviv, that's in the big conference hall, the first thing you see on the first wall is Wiz. And we paid nothing for it, of course. And so think about how crazy this exposure is for $0 and just like 1 hour of our VP's time. And of course, she was glad to do that. The sessions that I told you about, so this is a session we did in front of 500 people. Again, we paid nothing for it. And if you want to get exposure to 500 people, you usually pay for it. But we nominated a session and we worked with the right people. And of course, this was led by the alliance team. And so also, if you're looking at the booth, and so you can be like a silent partner and just pay for the booth. At the end of the day, it costs money, but you want to be in a good position, like a location, right? You want to be in the right, category, and you want to be the first one. You're not necessarily going to get that. I know reInvent, for example, people sign up to sponsor reInvent for the next year during the reInvent of that year. So it became like a real competition. But as long as you're, growing as a partner, you'll get way more focus on that. And so this is one thing that I think we're putting most focus on. By the way, my team presents the leads that came from the conferences as marketing leads, but also as alliance leads, because if we weren't working so hard, we couldn't have get this session or this this location or whatever. And so this is really affecting lead generation. We talked about the in-person activities. There's the social activities. Again, if you do something with one of the cloud providers, if you do an event or if you do a video or a case study, that's good. But you want to have their exposure, because AWS Startups has 100K followers, Microsoft has 20 million followers, Google Cloud has almost 2 million followers. We'll never get to those numbers in our own LinkedIn pages. And so there's a process you go with the partner marketing team in order to get this approved and raised. And so and they want that because they have quotas for social promotion with partners as well. Another thing is the budgets and resources. I won't go in deeper into that. I talked about it, but MDF is something that the owner of the cloud relationship should know how to get and how to use. And then you work with different agencies that work with this cloud providers. You want to know how to deploy the different MDFs and how can I get more MDF? That's a whole theory. But just so you know that this type of budget exists, and also you want to get close help from this partner. And so you won't get a PMM on the first day. We still don't have for all of CSPs, but I think you need to work hard on that since day one and say and claim, I want to get marketing resources to work closely with me because we have this and that plan, and look at what we want to do with you guys. Another part of marketing is creating as much content and collateral as possible. These are just maybe 10% of the examples that Wiz is doing. We have a partner marketing manager, and the alliance managers are heavily involved in trying to create case studies, video case studies with customers, or for us as a customer, or for us as an ISV. This isn't a good example, Amazon Elasticache. Think about it. You're using cloud services right now, and your R&D people, they're sitting, behind the scenes and maybe are a very good representatives of this service. And so what we did is we basically reached out to AWS saying, listen, we're a big, heavy user of Elasticache. Can we do a case study together? And of course, usually they say yes. And then you start the process, and then you're being promoted as an AWS customer. And this is something that had risen from the partnership that you have with the CSP. You can do case studies of your own. These are photos of a Google Cloud team that came to our office and basically took a video, and then they put it on YouTube for a video case study. Again, each one of these cost us $0. Also because we're a partner and this is what they offer, but also because of the MDFs that I talked about. And so you can use that for that. Maybe the two most important pieces are the co-sell and the marketplace pieces. So I see co-sell as two active parts. There's the deal acceleration. How can I take my existing pipeline and accelerate it together with my partners, my counterparts on the CSPs? And then there's the lead generation, which is maybe step one and step two. Lead generation usually doesn't happen very early because you need to do a lot of stuff, which I had here. I think you should first hire someone to own that. I've seen so many startups that the VP of product or the CTO or even the CEO owns the relationship with the cloud providers, but they have maybe 5% of their week allocated for it, and that's a good case. And so you can never drill down into building relationships, understand, as we said, mapping the companies, mapping the different roles, understanding their incentives, who to work with, and of course, double down on the co-sell piece. There's the partner CRMs, ACE for AWS, Partner Center for Microsoft. This is basically, if you guys don't know it, it's where you put your opportunities and share with the different CSPs. A lot of companies, especially sellers, are saying, no, I would never do it. They're partially competitors and I don't want to share my pipeline. I think that's a mistake unless your strategy is go head to head with those CSPs, because everybody does it. And the people you share that with are usually the cloud people. And so Azure sellers